Okay, so we will go first with the message of support from our representative from the local government unit of Dapitan City. Let me call on Ms. Kathleen Oyahara Amoy, the advisor to the City Mayor on Heritage and Tourism Promotion and Development.
Maayong buntag sa inyong tanan. Welcome to Dapitan City Government Center. We are now here in the amphitheater. PCG spokesperson on the West Philippine Sea, Commodore J. Tariela. PIA Director General, Jose Torres Jr. DDG Ares Gutierrez. DDG Cat De Castro. National Security Council, DDG Major General Nestor Jerico. RD Noemi Edaga, Mr. Eman Taghoy, representative of the Governor of the Province of Zamboanga del Norte, Ms. Marjorie Cat Haloshos, from the Department of Justice, Attorney Freddy Ganchun, advisor to the Mayor on the Dapitan Boulevard Authority, Mr. Brits or Peter Dominic Hamoy, members of the Philippine Coast Guard, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. We are gathered here today not just for a press conference, but at a historical crossroads. Dapitan may seem geographically distant from the heart of our nation. However, its significance to the West Philippine Sea issue and the Filipino spirit as a whole is undeniable. Here, in this very city, Dr. Jose Rizal, our national hero, endured exile. Yet, his story transcends mere hardship. He became a pillar of the community, a healer, a teacher, and a beacon of unwavering hope. Dapitan witnessed Rizal's unwavering spirit, his relentless pursuit of knowledge, and his belief in freedom. These are the very lessons that continue to inspire Filipinos today. However, the story of Rizal in Dapitan is not as widely known as it should be. The city's rich heritage holds a key to understanding both Rizal and ourselves. Imagine ancestral homes like Balay Hamoy Museum, whispering tales of resilience, cultural landmarks standing tall as testaments to our traditions. Preserving this heritage isn't just about the past. It is about understanding our national identity and the spirit of unwavering freedom that flows through our veins. This spirit directly connects to the West Philippine Sea situation. Just as Rizal refused to be confined by exile, we as a nation refuse to be confined within our borders when it comes to protecting our sovereign territory. Friends, by promoting responsible tourism in Dapitan, we create a platform for Filipinos to connect with their heritage and understand the crucial link between our history and our territorial integrity. Tourists, both local and international, become ambassadors, carrying Dapitan's story, and by extension, Rizal's story and the lessons of freedom to the world. So as we explore Dapitan City, let us not only celebrate its beauty, but also explore its history. Let Dapitan be a bridge connecting Filipinos not just to the breathtaking region, but also to the spirit of Dr. Jose Rizal. Let his legacy inspire us to a proactive in protecting our nation. This, for us today, is the narration's tomorrow. I invite you all to explore the historical and beautiful Dapitan City. Dapit na sa Dapitan, Dapitan always inviting. Daghang salamat po.
Thank you, Ms. Catherine Uyahara Amoy, the advisor to the City Mayor on Heritage and Tourism Promotion and Development. At this point, let us now start with the opening statement Of course, from our Director General, Jose A. Torres Jr. of the Philippine Information Agency.
Good morning, everyone. Mayong buntag sa tanan, ilabi na sa akong mga higala, paryente, mga amigo sa media, mga taga Mindanao. Salamat sa inyong pag-abot o hinaot paunta nga tabangan mi ninyo sa pagpaabot niining napaka-importante nga issue, napaka-importante nga atong istoryahan karong adlaw. This is very timely. This event is very timely. Yesterday, our President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. reiterated his call for everyone to stand together against the incursion in the West Philippine Sea. The President reiterated his statement that we, Filipinos, and his administration will not give an inch or a millimeter of our territory sa West Philippine Sea. Unfortunately, just this morning, at ito pang breaking news natin sa mga taga-media, isa po sa ating mga barko na papunta sana doon sa ating mga kapatid na mangingisda sa West Philippine Sea ay binangga. Mamaya ay sasabihin sa inyo ngayong umaga lang po ito, just this morning. And I think it will be shown on our video streaming, the video later on with Commodore Tariela when he will talk about it, when you will have your opportunity to ask questions about the issue. So ito yung breaking news today, and it is very timely na nandito tayo magkakasama. Before, di ba, inaano lang ng tubig, hinaharang-harangan. Ngayon medyo kiskisan na ang ginawa ng mga Chinese vessels sa ating mga barko sa sarili nating teritoryo. So medyo napakatindi ng usapin na ito. Siguro magtatanong kayo kung bakit dito sa Mindanao, bakit natin hino-hold yung pag-uusap na ito ngayon dito sa Mindanao na napakalayo naman sa West Philippine Sea. Kaya gusto kong pasalamatan si Ma'am Kat sa kanyang statement na kahit nandito tayo sa Mindanao, nandito tayo sa Dapitan na napaka-peaceful na lugar, hindi po ibig sabihin na hindi tayo kasali sa usapin ng West Philippine Sea, yung ating territorial integrity. Mga Pilipino po tayo, kailangan po nating magkaisa at ipaglaban yung ating teritoryo, ating lugar, kailangan nating protektahan at ipagtanggol ang yaman nito. Kaya tayo nandito sa Mindanao, ito ay ang second leg ng ating kampanya ng Philippine Information Agency sa pakikipagtulungan natin sa Philippine Coast Guard, sa National Task Force on the West Philippine Sea para ipaarating sa ating mga kababayan. Kasi napakalaki na ng issue na ito sa international community. Even the President brought this issue doon sa summit yesterday, this week, sa Australia at sa iba pang mga international fora na pinupuntahan ng ating Pangulo at ng ibang mga opisyal natin. Subalit dito sa sarili nating bansa, minsan marami pang nalilito, marami pang hindi nakakaalam kung ano talaga yung usapin na ito. At minsan, dahil sa misinformation at disinformation, tila kumakampi pa doon sa nang-aagaw sa ating teritoryo. Ang ilan sa ating mga kababayan, hindi lamang yung mga ordinaryong mamayan, kahit yung mga kaibigan natin sa media. Kaya po gusto itong gawain na ito ay ginampanan ng Philippine Information Agency para abutin natin ang ating mga kababayan sa kasulok-sulukan ng ating bansa para magkakaisa tayo, magsama-sama tayo na ipagtanggol ang ating teritoryo. Nagsimula tayo doon sa Northern Luzon at pumunta tayo dito sa Mindanao. Alam kong napakalaking hamon para sa ating lahat na abutin ang ating mga kababayan, abutin yung mga baryo, mga munisipyo, mga syudad dito sa Mindanao para magkakaisa tayong lahat at suportahan natin ang ating pagsusulong na pangalagaan ang yaman na nandoon sa karagatan, sa West Philippine Sea, at sa lahat ng mga teritoryo natin dito sa ating bansa. Sana po tulungan ninyo kami kayong mga nasa media, na magiging partners po tayo sa hindi lamang para ma-inform ang ating mga kababayan, hindi lamang para maipaalam natin sa ating mga kababayan at sa lahat ng mga Pilipino ang kailangan nilang malaman tungkol sa usapin na ito, kung hindi, kasama rin namin kayo na ipagtanggol natin ang ating yaman sa karagatan, ang ating teritoryo sa buong Pilipinas. So sana maging fruitful ang pagkakataon na ito, ang event na ito, at ito na po yung pagkakataon ninyo na siguro nakikita nyo lang ang gandang lalaki ni Commodore Tariela sa telebisyon, o kayo narinig nyo sa radyo o nababasa sa dyaryo. Ito yung pagkakataon na itanong ninyo lahat na gusto nyong itanong sa kanya, lahat ng mga bumabagabag sa inyong isipan tungkol sa usapin ng West Philippine Sea. Ito yung pagkakataon, at sinisiguro ko po sa inyo dahil ongoing po ang pangyayari ngayon sa West Philippine Sea, ito yung pang-breaking news nito. Kasi the spokesperson ng NTF-WPS ay nandito ngayon sa ating harapan at kasama natin. So napakagandang pagkakataon, and sigurado akong hinahanap siya ng lahat ng media, hindi lamang sa Pilipinas, kundi sa buong mundo para magbigay ng statement. Pero yan, kasama natin siya. Kaya hindi na natin patatagalin. Kung meron kayong mga katanungan, pwede na kayong magtanong kay Commodore Tariela. At mamaya po, darating si Attorney Gancho ng Department of Justice para naman ipaliwanag sa atin at i-share sa atin kung bakit kailangan nating ipagtanggol, kung bakit, ano yung legal rights natin, ano yung legal, historic at legal na batayan, kung bakit sinasabi natin itong mga bagay na ito, kung bakit kailangan nating ipagtanggol yung ating bayan. Sige po, maraming salamat and thank you. Thank you. Ganon din yun.
Thank you, Director General Jose Torres Jr. of the Philippine Information Agency. Before we start with our question and answer portion, let me first establish a few reminders for our house rules. To everyone, please put your phones to silent mode. Do not disrupt the flow of discussion. To our media friends, our discussion will solely revolve on our topic, the West Philippine Sea. Questions outside of this periphery will not be entertained. Our partners from the local government are here to affirm their message of support. Thus, no questions for them. Each of our media partners will be given opportunity to ask one main question and one follow-up. If we still have time, we will accommodate more questions. We are expected to wrap up 12 noon. Okay? Without much ado, let's get the ball rolling. Please, for our media, direct your question to the official who you want to ask your question and introduce to which media outfit you belong to.
Check. Tanong nyo na lang kung ano yung itatanong niyo.
Yes, we have Mr. Gualberto Lapot of Rappler. Sir, you have the microphone here.
Saon man ani, adala. Tingog. Welcome to Commodore Tariela and Jose Torres, welcome to the Pitan. Sir, can you expound on what Director General Torres has said about Banggaan ngayon this morning? And I still have one or two questions more. I will give that question after the Commodore expounds on the event.
Okay. Okay, sir. Yes, Commodore.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa inyong mainit na pagtanggap sa National Task Force West Philippine Sea. Ang response ko lang po dun sa tanong nyo, no? I-clarify ko lang muna. Yung banggaan na nangyari between the Philippine Coast Guard vessel and the Chinese Coast Guard vessel, ang operation po natin dito is yung paulit-ulit natin ginagawa, the resupply operation natin sa Ayungin Shoal. Ito po yung pagpapadala natin ng Coast Guard vessel in support of the resupply, no, ng ating para sa mga sundalo natin sa Ayungin, dahil nandun po yung barko natin na BRP Sierra Madre. So every month po or twice a month, depende po kung anong pangangailangan, susupply po ang Armed Forces of the Philippines dito, at ang Philippine Coast Guard po ang nag-escort, no, sa mga resupply boats na to. Now, for me to give you a much clear background kung ano nangyari dito, ang Philippine Coast Guard vessel po natin dito na pinadala ay ang BRP Cabra at ang BRP Sindangan. No? Ang Armed Forces of the Philippines deployed Onaiza May 1 and Onaiza May 4. The concept of the operation is for the Philippine Coast Guard vessel to meet them from Sabina Shoal this morning, and then from there, we're going to proceed to Ayungin Shoal to act as escort vessels for the two indigenous boats. On our way to, while we were en route, no, on our way to sa Ayungin Shoal, ang Chinese Coast Guard po ay nag-deploy ng 5 Chinese Coast Guard vessels. No? And they are bigger than our Coast Guard vessels. And they also relied on the Chinese Maritime Militia. As of this time, hindi ko pa po masabi kung ilan. We're still counting the actual number of the Chinese Maritime Militia. But I could say they have deployed a very large number of Chinese Maritime Militia because they were very successful in putting our vessel in a coral state, no? Mahaharangan niya yung barko namin. And then, every time na matatrap nila yung Coast Guard vessel, of course, we're going to, our mission was to provide escort dito sa mga indigenous boat. Hahabulin namin yung indigenous boat every once in a while. Pag ginagawa naman namin yan, kapag hinabol na namin sila, ang gagawin ng Chinese Coast Guard is that they won't hesitate, no, to block our way going to the indigenous boat. Ito po yung video, meron na ipapakita. Nandun pala yung maliit lang na TV natin. Ito yung ipinost ko sa Twitter ko ngayon. Dahil sa kagustuhan ng Philippine Coast Guard vessels na habulin yung mga indigenous boats na yan, ang nangyari, we collided with the Chinese Coast Guard vessel. Pero, on the part of the Philippine Coast Guard naman po, we always make sure that we deploy the best Coast Guard commanding officers na pinapadala natin dito. Kung kaya't, kahit papano, although tumama tayo ng ganyan, we have to make sure na mag-respond agad ang Coast Guard natin. That's why we prevented yung mas malaki-laking damage, no, as a result of the collision. So again, i-clarify ko lang, this operation is a rotation and reprovisioning mission for the Armed Forces of the Philippines. And the job of the Philippine Coast Guard in this particular operation is to act as escort vessels and to make sure na makakarating itong mga supplies natin sa ating mga sundalo sa BRP Sierra Madre.
Yes, Sir Gualberto, if you have your follow-up question.
Si Commodore, at first the Chinese were, if I'm correct, no, they are using the gray zone tactics, and the Philippine government responded with transparency. You bring up this thing to the international community. Now with this incident, can we say that the Chinese have gone up on their tactics? Nagiging na ba sila? Direct confrontation na ba yung nila ginagawa nila? Hindi na gray zone tactics.
Well, when we speak of gray zone tactics, it is an act of the state na short of, masasabi mo, hindi mo siya makukondemn na it is on a provocative level that would result to an armed conflict. I would say na the Chinese gray zone activity has been very successful for a very, very long time. They were able to change the status quo of the entire South China Sea, not just in the West Philippine Sea, because of this gray zone strategy. Without even firing a single shot, they have dominated the entire South China Sea. So, in a nutshell, that's how we define Chinese gray zone. Without firing a single shot, without deploying Chinese warship, they were able to change the status quo. Ano ba ang nabago ng China since they did this? No? Reclaim na sila ng napakaraming isla. They can also coerce other states to follow whatever aggressive actions na ginagawa nila sa South China Sea. Ngayon, kung ang tanong, are they already increasing their level of aggression? Kung ano man nangyayari ngayong umaga at kung ano pa mga nangyayari ng mga nakaraang linggo, this has been happening before. This has been our experience even we started the transparency. The only difference between the transparency that we have now under President Bongbong Marcos, in which we should really be very thankful, dahil ngayon, napag-uusapan na natin ngayon. Alam na ng media kung mayroong mga banggaan na ganito. Alam na ng media kung may water cannon. Alam na ng media kung may military grade laser na ginagawa sa atin. Napag-uusapan natin lahat. Ngayon, does it mean tumataas ba ang level of aggression ng China? I don't think so. On our part, since the Philippine Coast Guard has been deployed in the West Philippine Sea, even before nitong panahon ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, we are aware that all of this has been happening even before we started telling this to the public. So, ibig sabihin, kung ano man na-experience natin ngayon, ganito rin naman ang na-experience sa mga nakaraang taon. Nagkataon lang na ngayon, napag-uusapan natin because we're telling it to you. We are sharing it to the public dahil ang paniniwala ng ating butihing Pangulo, it is the obligation of the national government to tell the Filipino people kung ano talagang nangyayari sa West Philippine Sea. We have to make this a duty for everybody sa government na sabihin natin sa mga Pilipino kung ano talaga nangyayari. Dahil otherwise, magpo-proliferate ang fake news, disinformation, masasabi nila na wala na ngayong harassment, mabait sila, maayos silang kausap, they are our partners for peace and economic development. But in reality, hindi naman yan ang nangyayari. Ito ang pinaka-objective ng activity natin na ito ngayon para mapag-usapan. Not because tumataas ang level of aggression.
Okay, for our next question, it's from the Kapihan sa Dipolog, Ms. Editha P. Tumong.
Thank you, Sir Eman, and good morning to each and every one of us here. And to our visiting officials from the PCG and PIA, thank you so much for bringing this issue in our locality. Because in our public affairs program, we have been discussing this for a while, but then again, we don't have any resource speakers to fully understand, let the people fully understand about the situation in the West Philippine Sea. So my question is, how will our foreign diplomacy work for the Philippines in gaining our independence in that particular territory, especially so since in the news, we have always identified this as South China Sea. And we don't identify this always as our right, our territorial right, as West Philippine Sea, if I am right. Because this covers our exclusive economic zone. So maybe there's a little confusion there also from the people of the Philippines and our officials also, so that we in the media, we can also claim our, identify rightly our territorial jurisdiction in our West Philippine Sea. That is for my first question. Thank you.
Well, ang tanong niyo po ba, ma'am, is about the foreign policy ng gobyerno natin na naaapektuhan sa ginagawa natin ngayon? Ganun po ba yan? Because you believe that the West Philippine Sea is not ours.
No, we do believe that it is ours, but there is a confusion in identifying the place as South China Sea. Because the West Philippine Sea is really ours. It belongs to our EEZ. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
So, totoo naman po yung sinabi nyo. For a very long time, ang naging pangalan talaga ng buong karagatan na yan is South China Sea. Pero ngayon, we are now using West Philippine Sea to define, for us to call ang ating exclusive economic zone dito sa parteng karagatan na to. Ngayon, what is the West Philippine Sea? Hindi lang po ito sa may gawing Palawan or ito sa Kalayaan Island Group. Ang West Philippine Sea po, anything that go beyond the territorial sea natin mula sa western side, kahit pa sa side ng mula upper north, hanggang sa pinakababang isla ng Pilipinas sa western side, that's the West Philippine Sea. However, we don't call the entire South China Sea as West Philippine Sea. The maritime zones na ipinasa ng ating Senado nung nakaraang linggo lamang define that the 200 nautical miles, which is the exclusive economic zone of our country, is the West Philippine Sea. So ito po ang West Philippine Sea. We have sovereign rights over these waters. Let us not be confused in defining sovereignty and sovereign rights. Wala pa lang po si Ma'am Pretty, pero dadating po siya mamaya. Mas magaling po siya mag-discuss ng mga international law at ng UNCLOS. So, for sovereign rights, we have the right to explore and exploit. Ibig sabihin, ito po ang dahilan kung bakit tayo nagrereklamo every time na mga Pilipinong mangingisda natin ay pinaalis, hinaharas, at sinasabihang wala tayong karapatang mangisda sa karagatan na to. And then we also have the right to explore. Ito po ang dahilan kung bakit pinupush din ng Department of Energy ngayon ang magkaroon ng exploration para sa oil naman. So wala naman po tayong problema whenever we call this West Philippine Sea. Because according to the United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea, from your baseline extended the 200 nautical miles, that's your exclusive economic zone. And West Philippine Sea forms part of the entire exclusive economic zone po natin.
Miss Edith, do you have a follow-up question?
Yes. Regarding the military might of China, because we cannot really compete with them. It's like David and Goliath. So may we ask what are the improvement, upgrades of the Philippine Coast Guard in protecting our territorial rights in that part of our country so that hindi naman tayo magiging katatawanan in the international community. Thank you, sir.
Well, this is the very reason why we're doing this transparency strategy. No? Ito ang dahilan kung bakit natin, sinasabihan ng mga Pilipino, bakit natin ginagawa to. For us to counter ang mga argument na wag nating patulan ng China dahil mas malakas sila. Wag tayong mag-complain dahil gigirahin nila tayo. Wag natin silang i-publicize dahil maiinis sila sa atin, hindi natin sila kaya. Ang tanong naman po dito, sino bang nagsabing makikipaggera tayo? Di ba ma'am? Kung susundin natin yung argument na yan, nakikipaggera ba tayo? Is publicizing the illegal and lawful, aggressive, bullying behavior of China means we are going to war? Hindi, ma'am, di ba? So in short, kung pag-uusapan natin, ang approach ba ng gobyerno natin ngayon ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ay mali? Dahil we're telling the Filipino people what is happening? May mali ba, ma'am? Wala din po, di ba po? Pero it doesn't mean din na nakikipaggera tayo. For example, ma'am, ang tweet ko ngayon, pinakikita ko sa mga Pilipino, ipinakikita ko din sa iba't ibang bansa, no? The international community, na ginaganito tayo, binabangga-bangga ang barko natin, pinaalis sa mga mangingisda natin. Babalik po tayo sa history ni Rizal. Gusto ko yung statement ni ma'am, pagdating kay Rizal. You know, Jose Rizal, nung panahon po siguro na yan, may nagsasabi din sa kanyang, huwag ka nang magsulat tungkol sa mga Kastila kasi mamamatay ka. Di ba, ma'am? Kasi malakas ang Kastila. And for so many years, no, centuries of occupation dito sa Pilipinas. Are we going to allow ourselves na sasabihin natin ang turo ni Rizal, tumahimik na lang tayo ngayon, wag na tayong magreklamo kasi gegerahin tayo ng China? Di ba mali? Ang kalayaan natin ngayon, ang independence natin ngayon, ipinaglaban pa nung napakaraming bayani, panahon ng Kastila, panahon ng Hapon. At some point, we also had issues with the Americans. But right now, we are enjoying our independence. Ang West Philippine Sea po, kasama yan sa parte ng bansa natin. At lahat po tayo Pilipino. Kaya hanggang ngayon po, kung ang issue, huwag tayong magsalita kasi wala tayong panama sa China. Parang inalaw na lang din natin sila na balahurain ang bansa natin dahil tumahimik lang tayo. Ito po ang dahilan kung bakit lagi nyo ako nakikita sa TV, nakikita sa interview, dahil gusto ko pong sabihin sa mga Pilipino na let us not have that kind of defeatist thinking na talo agad tayo kahit magsabi lang tayo. Our approach now, besides from educating the Filipino people of what's happening, is also to gain support from the international community. Totoo naman po yung sinabi nyo, ma'am, no? Napakaliit ng Coast Guard nga natin, ma'am, sasampu lang eh, di ba? Pero it doesn't mean, hindi na rin kami magpapatrol sa West Philippine Sea kasi ang barko nila more than 200 plus. Gusto mo ba, ma'am, huminto na rin yung 10 barko natin kasi sasabihin namin, 200 kasi sila eh, 10 lang tayo. Di ba hindi? Meron bang gusto sa atin, sir? Ma'am, meron? Wala, di ba? Kasi ma'am, kahit 10 lang ang Coast Guard vessel natin na nagpapatrolya sa West Philippine Sea. Para sa buong hanay po ng Philippine Coast Guard, these are patriotic duty. Because we are talking about the territory and the exclusive economic zone ng Pilipinas para sa Pilipino.
Our next question will come from Ms. Razel Vindiola of Arman DXDR.
Yes, magandang buhay po sa ating lahat. Ano ba yung aksyon na dapat gawin sa PCG tungkol sa pag-jam ng China sa Automated Identification System o AIS na mga barko sa Pilipinas, lalong-lalo na po yung mga Philippine vessels at yung mga personnel natin? Yung first na action na dapat natin gawin.
Well, ang automatic identification system po ng mga barko natin, ito po yung, kumbaga, nagtatransmit ng signal for us to be able to monitor kung nasan siya. In short, locator, parang GPS locator. No? Ang naging experience po natin dito sa Bajo de Masinloc is yung AIS signal natin na-jam, kaya hindi siya nakapag-transmit ng signal para malocate. Ngayon, sa part naman po natin, although, of course, that is wrong to do, no, on the part of the People's Republic of China. Ang ginagawa naman po natin is we rely on communication. There are so many ways for us to still monitor our Coast Guard vessel. As to how are we going to prevent our vessels from being jammed, that's already operational details, ma'am, and I'm not authorized to disclose.
Ms. Razel, do you have a follow-up question? You are good? Okay. Our next question will come from Ms. Julie Alipala of the Ms. Zoraida Mustaril of Radyo Rapido.
Hello, good morning. Zoraida Eva Mustaril po from Radyo Rapido Dipolog. Kay Sir Commodore po. Sir, sa tingin niyo po, ano bang mga potential na solusyon o diplomatic approaches para maayos po ang issue sa West Philippine Sea?
Well, ngayon po, ma'am, no, ang approach po natin is to amplify ang ating measured transparency. Ito po yung ginagawa natin ngayon. Anything that the Chinese government will do particularly in provoking, bullying the fishermen, or even this kind of operation na piniprevent tayo ng mag-resupply, is worth sharing it to the public. We're telling this to the international community. Dahil naniniwala po tayo, no, that our foreign policy, we can be able to strengthen our alliance and also the support of the international community if they are aware of what's happening. Kaya nga po mahalagang sabihin to eh. Sinasabi namin lagi sa NTFWPS, no, paano malalaman ng mundo na binubuli tayo kung hindi natin sasabihin? How would you ask them to support you kung hindi nila alam kung anong pinagdadaanan nyo? So, ang transparency natin is also in line with the foreign policy strategy of this national government. For the international community to be aware kung anong pinagdadaanan nating mga ka-illegal na gawain ng China para sa mga maing isda, para sa Philippine Coast Guard, and for the Armed Forces of the Philippines. This is how transparency approach supports the foreign policy direction of President Bongbong Marcos.
Okay, for the next question, Ms. Julie Alipala of the Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Na ako. From West Philippine Sea to Dapitan, gaano po kalayo tayo in terms of nautical miles?
Hindi ko alam, ma'am eh. Pwede nating i-google. Teka lang, ma'am. I-google
Sir,
ko.
come on.
Ilan ba ang distance nito? Sir,
I just want to bring the people to this place about what you're saying regarding the West Philippine Sea. So, I want to find out kung gaano kalayo ang West Philippine Sea or even Palawan to Dipolog so that we'll have this kind of appreciation. Kasi I love what Ma'am Kathleen said about the connection between the Dapitan and the West Philippine Sea. So, may idea tayo kung
malayo po, ma'am. Let's say malayo. Ano pong, ano natin?
Sir, hindi pwede sa story sabihin natin let's say malayo, sir. Sorry ha, because we're trying to give information to the people, so we need something like concrete data. And then given that, sir,
551 kilometers.
551 kilometers.
If we're going to measure Palawan, no, yung perpendicular line from Palawan, the center of Palawan, going to Dipolog, that's 551
To Dipolog.
kilometers.
Dapitan, pareho na yun, sir. No? Sige, okay. Sige, sir. Kasi given you made mention several aggressions made by the Chinese militiamen to our boat people, to the Coast Guard and other security forces, how is the Filipino taking this, sir? Meron ba silang parang, uy, ginugulo tayo or what? Passive ba sila? Is there any parang diplomatic protest also coming from the local government units, not just in Palawan area, but in some other parts of the country? Yung bang para bang sama kami dyan, dapat nakipag-condemn na tayo. May ganun ba? How do you find it, sir?
Well, right now, based on the national survey, 70% of the Filipinos support the approach of the current president in dealing with the West Philippine Sea issue. Secondly, when it comes to the diplomatic protests, of course, it's only the Department of Foreign Affairs, not the local government, can do diplomatic protests.
Apart from that diplomatic protest, we can issue statement naman like they can come up with some sort of resolution from different local governments that we from Dapitan are strongly condemning.
I think that's a very good recommendation.
Is there such thing as like that during this kind of natin?
As of this time, ma'am, wala pang nakaisip niyan. Pero because of your recommendation, I think that's a very good move.
Ganun ba? Ay, to Ma'am Kathleen na lang. Last na, sorry ha, just to link the story. Yeah. I'm sure the local government will do that. Ma'am, how do you find this campaign of West Philippine Sea bringing down to the LGU, to the local level po, ma'am?
Thank you for that question po, ma'am. No? So for me, this is very timely. not only those near the West Philippine Sea should be informed about what's happening in that area. The whole Philippines should rally behind the President, all of us together, knowing all the facts first, no? Kasi nga po maraming naglalabas ang fake news, ang iba po kumakampi na kay China, ang iba naman po still behind, of course, what the Philippines is fighting for. So for me, maganda po ang initiative na ginagawa ng PIA at ng Philippine Coast Guard na umiikot sila sa Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao and spreading information and education to all the LGUs. And now it is up to the LGU to bring it to the barangay level. So everyone, not one Filipino should be left behind. Lahat po tayo dapat alam natin if a country ay nandyan to oppress us, to conquer us, no? O kung ano pa po ang ginagawa sa ating bansa. We should all be informed. At yun po ay aming gagawin ng LGU Dapitan kasama ang aming butihing mayor na si Mayor Seth Frederick Bullet Helosos na ibinibigay ang full support niya dito po sa West Philippine Sea issue at ang paglaganap ng information, dissemination, and education sa lahat ng mga Dapitanon po.
Salamat po.
Thank you, Ms. Julie. For our next question is from Michelle Bala of DXFL-FM.
Good morning, everyone. According to President Bongbong Marcos, no one but the Philippines has a legitimate right or legal basis to operate anywhere in the West Philippine Sea. Para po marating, gaya ng sinabi ni Ma'am Kath, para po marating to the ground po, why China is claiming this? Thank you po.
Well, there are a lot of academics who tried to explain why China is behaving like this. Some are saying that because they want to be the regional hegemon in this part of the world. Some are saying it's because they want to control the sea lines of communication. Some are saying it's just because of their ambition to become the greatest nation. There are a lot of reasons na naisulat, but as of this time, of course, if there's one person na makakasagot talaga kung anong intention ni Xi Jinping, siguro masosolve niya na itong problema natin sa West Philippine Sea. But we can probably say it's because of their greediness na sasabihin nilang kanila ang buong South China Sea. But as to specific and concise explanation why they are doing this, honestly, ma'am, I don't have the right answer for that.
Thank you po. No more follow-up question from Ms. Michelle Bala. We have Ms. Almida Salaveria from the RPN DXKD for the next question.
Yes, good morning to everyone. Ako po si Almida Salaveria from DXKD Dipolog. Tingin natin kasi ilang presidente na yung nakaraan. Mapahangga ngayon, hindi pa nalulutas yung problema. Sir, ano po yung mga bagay talaga na dapat nating baguhin na malutas, lalong-lalo na nakailang presidente na tayo hindi pa nalulutas? At follow-up ko lang na ano po yung security ng ating mga mangingisda, lalong-lalo na yung doon na ngayon? May mga security ba sila na lalong-lalo na sa kanilang buhay? Na alam naman natin, mapahangga ngayon, hindi pa naresolba yung kaso ng West Philippine Sea.
There are so many complications kung bakit ang West Philippine Sea na issue ay hindi agad natin masusolve ng isang presidente na upo lang ng 6 na taon. No? And it's not just because of our own government to solve the problem, but there are a lot of factors. Kung siguro ang China, nasa economic status siya nung dekada 80, at ang Pilipinas ganun din siguro, we are not going to have this kind of problems. But you're correct, ilang presidente yung dumaan, pero hindi niya talaga masusolve. Kasi depende rin yan pagdating sa kung paano magre-react ang China at the same time sa kakayahan niya. So, meaning, it's not just for the president to solve this on his own, but it would also require China's cooperation for us to resolve this issue. Secondly, ano na ba ang ginawa ng mga nakaraang Pangulo? No? Una sa lahat, naging mainit lang naman talaga ang usapin natin ng West Philippine Sea. Simula nung naging malakas na talaga ang China, for them to challenge almost everybody in the South China Sea. On the part of the Philippine government, it was during the time of President Pinoy na naramdaman natin kung gaano agresibo ang China when it comes to reclaiming different islands, and also the Bajo de Masinloc Scarborough Shoal standoff also happened during the time of President Pinoy. But his approach during that time is more of a legal approach. What he did is, nag-file tayo ng kaso sa arbitral court, and then we won in 2016. The approach then is legal, no? Magkaso tayo sa arbitral court. For President Duterte, his approach is more of diplomatic. He became very sincere in dealing with China. Naging maayos namang kausap ang ating dating butihing Pangulo. Unfortunately, hindi naging maayos kausap ang China. So this is a good example of ang solusyon sa West Philippine Sea cannot just be solved by any sitting president. It has to have the cooperation of the other party, which is China. So, kay Pinoy, nagkaso tayo. Kay President Duterte, naging maayos ang relationship natin, trying to have a much more sincere efforts, no, in reaching out with China para magkaroon tayo ng maayos na cooperation. But during the time of President Duterte, there was still harassment of Filipino fishermen. It was still a struggle for the armed forces of the Philippines for us to do the resupply. Meron pa ding swarming incident. Merong ramming ng Filipino fishing boat. So lahat ng pinag-uusapan natin ngayon sa administrasyon ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, ay ganun din naman ang pinagdaanan ng mga Pilipino nung panahon ni dating Pangulong Duterte. The only difference is that noong nakaraang panahon na yon, hindi natin napag-uusapan because we're not publicizing it. Except only this time. So the approach for our president is to be transparent about what's happening. So those are the three approaches ng ating nakaraang administrasyon. Your second question, ano ang effort ng national government para protektahan natin ang mga Pilipino mangingisda? The National Security Advisor, last January, katapusan ng Enero, no, he issued a statement saying that there will be a rotational deployment between the Philippine Coast Guard and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. So ang naging guidance na ng ating national government is for BFAR and the Philippine Coast Guard to ensure na meron tayong presensya sa Bajo de Masinloc. Ngayon kung ang tanong nyo, ma'am, bakit sa Bajo de Masinloc? Well, of course, that's a traditional fishing ground ng ating mga Pilipinong mangingisda. At ang guidance ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos is to make sure we're going to protect ang ating mga mangingisda from any harassment from the Chinese. Nag-emanate itong instruction na to dahil nung nakaraang Enero, meron ding nag-viral video na may mga Pilipinong mangingisda na pinaalis ng Chinese Coast Guard. Ito po ang effort ngayon ng national government. The BFAR and the Philippine Coast Guard are deployed now in Bajo de Masinloc to protect them and to ensure that they're not going to be harassed by the Chinese Coast Guard.
Thank you po. Before we proceed with our Q&A, let me first acknowledge Attorney Freddy G. Gachoon of the Department of Justice. Would also like to request Attorney Gachoon to join us here in front. By the way, we are live now at PIA Western Mindanao and all PIA FB pages. Okay, for our next question will come from Magic FM. We have Mr. Arnel Kwong.
Yes, good morning po sa lahat po. Sir, to Commodore J, kung sakali po patuloy ang pambubuli ng China po sa Philippine Coast Guard po, napapanahon na yata siguro. What do you think po, na napapanahon na po ba na hingi tayo ng tulong ng mga kaalyansa ng bansa po?
Well, that has been the effort of President Bongbong Marcos for a long time already. Ngayon, nasa Australia ang ating Pangulo. Napag-usapan din ng security cooperation. Every time he comes to visit other countries, na pag-uusapan naman lagi ang West Philippine Sea. So, these transparency efforts that we have support the approach of the President in telling the other state leaders, no, about our issues now in the West Philippine Sea. Our foreign policy is also in line with this. Ito po ang effort ng ating Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Sinisuguro niya ang lahat ng binibisita niya mga bansa. Katulad lang po kahapon, nag-speech siya sa Australia at in-explain niya po ang West Philippine Sea.
Thank you po. Sir Arnel, do you still have a follow-up question? Okay na po. So we will proceed with the question from our partner from Wonder Radio, Sir JL Algarme.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat, sir, ma'am. Kanina, nasabi na po ni Commodore na 70% agreed, Filipinos agreed by the President moves against West Philippine Sea. Sir, kung ako po ay isang simpleng mamamayan, Yanong si Juan, kumbaga kung dito sa amin sa Mindanao, ano ba po ang real score natin ngayon fighting our right sa West Philippine Sea? Siguro from 100%, mabigay nyo percentage sa ano na po ba yung real score natin sa West Philippine Sea sa fighting this issue, sir? Kung ako po ay si Yanong si Juan or si simpleng mamamayan, kasi ang iba sinasabi, ano bang nangyari sa West Philippine Sea? Pero ngayon, hingi po ako ng percentage from 100%. Ano na po ba yung fight natin against dito sa West Philippine Sea, sir?
Ako, sir, I won't answer your question directly, no? But I'll probably explain to you the objectives of the transparency. And from there, let us measure whether we are the success rate, no, ng approach natin na to. What I mentioned a while ago is that the transparency strategy has two main objectives. One, to make the Filipino aware of what's happening in the West Philippine Sea. Two, that is to gain international support as they become aware of what's happening in the West Philippine Sea. Ngayon, kung ito ang gagamitin nating sukatan, kung masasabi natin are we effective in what we're doing, we look at the surveys, no? Sinabi ko kanina, more than 70% of the Filipino people are supporting the efforts of this national government. So kung yan ang scorecard natin, in line with the objective ng transparency, tingin ko mataas naman na, no? And then for the international community to support our efforts, with numerous number of countries now expressing support and condemning Chinese aggressive action, I think we're also effective at masasabi kong mataas ang percentage natin pag ginamit nating scorecard to. Pero kung ang tanong nyo, sir, yung pangkabuuan sa West Philippine Sea, ano na ba talaga ang real score natin? Honestly, sir, I cannot respond to your question directly because there are so many efforts that we're doing. It's not just purely this transparency. Of course, the Department of Foreign Affairs have their own efforts and the Department of Justice as well. Maraming ahensya ng gobyerno rito na nagtutulong-tulong para masolusyonan natin ang issue ng West Philippine Sea. Siguro ang challenge lang natin para sa ordinaryong Juan de la Cruz ay siguraduhin natin na maiintindihan niya kung bakit natin pinaglalaban to. The question should not be, are we going to win our battle for the West Philippine Sea? But the question should be, why this matters to an ordinary Juan de la Cruz. Ito ang objective natin ngayong lahat. Kung bakit tayo pumupunta ng bawat bayan from La Union, andito kami ngayon sa Dabitan, and then eventually we're also going to Visayas area. Para maintindihan ng ordinaryong Juan de la Cruz na ang laban natin dito, hindi to laban lang ng mga taga-Palawan. Laban to ng lahat ng Pilipino. Whether you are an ordinary Juan de la Cruz, whether mangingisda ka o hindi, ito, ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, bansa. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, Pilipinas. At ang laban na to, laban natin to lahat.
Thank you po. Meron pa po ba tayong follow-up from Sir JL? Wala na po, okay. Our next question will come from Zanorte Newsflash with Mr. Mark Bacroya.
And the XDR, RMN XDR. Good morning. For Attorney Gatchon. Attorney, sino ba bang co-claimant, bukod sa China, sino ba bang co-claimant sa South China Sea or West Philippine Sea? How about Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, and mga adjacent country?
Thank you for your question and apologies. I was late because my flight just arrived. And with respect to your question, the South China Sea is surrounded by several coastal states. So marami pong nakapalibot sa kanya. Yung characteristic po, yung classification ng South China Sea ay tinatawag na semi-enclosed sea. Yun po yung classification niya under UNCLOS, semi-enclosed sea. So napapalibutan po siya ng several coastal states. And yung mga claimant states sa South China Sea ay yung Pilipinas, Brunei, Malaysia, Vietnam, and China. Sila po yung nakapalibot. Yung Thailand, malayo na po yung Thailand. Doon na po siya sa bandang west. Malayo na po siya. So yung yung 5, Philippines, Brunei, Malaysia, Vietnam, and China. And yung portion ng South China Sea na tinatawag nating exclusive economic zone, yun po yung West Philippine Sea. So yung West Philippine Sea, part lang siya ng South China Sea. Yung West Philippine Sea, 200 nautical miles siya from our archipelagic baselines. So tayo lang po yung may exclusive economic zone sa West Philippine Sea. Yung ibang states po na may exclusive economic zone din sa South China Sea, yun po yung 5 sinabi ko. Thank you.
Thank you po. Meron po ba tayong follow-up, Sir Mark?
Follow-up, Attorney. Gaano ba importante ay yung UNCLOS sa West Philippine Sea dispute?
Ay napaka-importante ng UNCLOS sa West Philippine Sea dispute. Kaya po yung DOJ, nandito po kasama ng Coast Guard, ng Philippine Information Agency sa pag-conduct ng information campaign with respect to the West Philippine Sea kasi marami po tayong misinformation, disinformation with respect to our rights there in the West Philippine Sea. So meron po tayong ganitong proyekto with the PIA, Coast Guard, and National Security Council at sumasama po yung Department of Justice sa project na ito kasi nagbibigay po kami ng briefings on the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea and kung ano po yung contents ng arbitral award. Kasi alam po natin na nanalo tayo sa West Philippine Sea. Ano po talaga yung contents ng award na yon? So, ano po ba talaga yung mga rights natin in the West Philippine Sea? So yung UNCLOS na tinatawag, bakit po siya importante? Yung UNCLOS is considered as the constitution for the oceans. It's a big document with 320 articles and 15 parts. So napakaraming po siya, 9 annexes and 320 articles. So important po siya sa pag-resolve ng maritime dispute in the West Philippine Sea and through UNCLOS na deklara po ng Arbitral Tribunal na yung West Philippine Sea po ay sa Pilipinas lamang kasi exclusive economic zone natin po yun. Meron po tayong exclusive rights. So West Philippine Sea, exclusive ibig sabihin, tayo lang yung may rights doon sa West Philippine Sea at mali po yung China sa pag-claim ng rights diyan kasi under UNCLOS atin lang po yung resources ng West Philippine Sea. Eksklusibo po sa atin. Nakasulat po yan sa UNCLOS at na-explain sa arbitral award.
Thank you. For our next question, we have Ms. Arlene Parame of Bombo Radyo, Star FM.
Good morning po. Maraming salamat nga pala sa hakbang po na ginagawa ng PIA and the PCG on informing the public regarding po sa sitwasyon natin sa West Philippine Sea. As observation lang po, kanina kasi na-mention na merong anti and pro. Siguro kasi, as I've heard every time na napababalita sa radyo or sa TV about sa mga bullying na ginagawa ng China is that admittedly, ang mga Pinoy po talaga is alam nila ang capacity natin in terms of sa ating military or sa Navy, alam nila ang capacity natin comparing sa China. Going to the question, para po kay Commodore Tariela, Sir, I remember the issue about West Philippine Sea or South China Sea more than 10 years ago pa siya. So it was, ang tribunal is na-award sa atin mga siguro during the presidency of Noynoy Aquino pa, no? Or 2016. So, sir, na-observe ko sa mga previous president until President Bongbong Marcos na we have been very diplomatic sa ating mga approach sa China. So, sir, after sa pagiging diplomatic po natin, may mga plano po ba tayo or mga next step po na pwede nating gawin para naman po makita po ng China or respetuhin nila yung claims natin sa West Philippine Sea. Kasi nakikita ko din po na even yung greetings ni President Marcos doon sa bagong president ng Taiwan, nagbabala ang China na wag daw maglaro ng apoy ang Pilipinas. So paano po yan, sir? Ano po yung next step ng Pilipinas or yung government po natin? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nag-uusap kami ni sir, sabi ko parang matanda na talaga ako, 10 years ago, yun yung memory mo. Imagine, siguro mga 20-something ka lang. Pero i-clarify ko lang, no? Ang binanggit mo ba is more diplomatic before, ngayon hindi na? Same pa din. So ang question mo is, other than with what we're doing right now, what are the other options we have? Tingin ko naman, our efforts right now is not just limited to transparency. As I said, no, there are different agencies. We have DFA, DOJ, and other government agencies. Now DNR as well. The Bureau of Fish, the Department of Agriculture, BFAR. Marami tayong effort tungkol sa usapin sa West Philippine Sea. It's not just doing this transparency to make the Filipino people aware. And other than that, lahat ng ginagawa natin naman, talaga namang more diplomatic. Hindi naman talaga tayo nang aaway. No? Mere words or actions, hindi naman talaga palaban ang action natin ginagawa. As a matter of fact, sila ang nangaaway. Sinasabi lang natin. Pero maling isipin na siguro na dahil maliit ang kakayahan ng Armed Forces of the Philippines natin, maliit ang Coast Guard, tatahimik na lang tayo. Yun lang yung palagi nating sinasabi ngayon. Kaya mas na-amplify natin tong strategy na to make the Filipino people aware na laging yan yung paulit-ulit nating sinasabi. Kasi tingin namin, ito yung problema natin ngayon. No? We should start from our own people for everybody to be aware of what's really happening. Other than that, wala naman tayong bagong ginagawa. No? It has always been diplomatic. And secondly, idadagdag siguro most likely ni ma'am, other options for the state to come up with much more diplomatic relationship, yun lang naman talagang nakasaad sa Constitution natin. We renounce war. So, hindi tayo talaga tutungo doon. No? Kaya, it's wrong to think na ang ginagawa natin, gigirahin tayo. Ang tanong, manggigera din ba tayo? Hindi rin naman, di ba? And also, how sure are we nagigirahin tayo din ng China? Di ba? Parang tinatakot natin yung sarili natin every time na ganun eh. Maliit tayo, gigirahin nila tayo. Paano nila nalaman na manggigera tayo at gigirahin nila tayo? Parang tinatakot natin yung sarili natin na ito lang talaga dapat gawin natin kasi ganito mangyayari. Other than that, of course, that's a propaganda that came from China. Sila talaga ang nagbibigay sa atin ng ganyang mindset.
Thank you po. Pa po ba tayong follow-up? Ma'am Parami from the Star FM, Bombo Radio, wala na po, okay? So we will proceed with our next question from Sir Julius Munding of Brigada News FM.
Good morning, ma'am, sir. Julius Munding from Brigada News FM Dipolog. Ang tanong ko lang po is kay Attorney Fritzy Ganchon. Sa pabalik-balik ng pangharas ng Chinese sa ating mga mangingisda, sa tingin niyo po, ma'am, kinikilala kaya ng China ang batas natin sa West Philippine Sea?
Well, obviously, they don't recognize the arbitral award. No? Hindi po sila nag-participate nung arbitration proceedings. At nung lumabas yung award nung July 12, 2016, hindi pa naman po 10 years, no? Kasi hindi pa. Pero nag-file po tayo ng kaso January 22, 2013. So 10 years na. Pero yung award, hindi pa 10 years. No? Lumabas siya ng July 12, 2016. Hindi po ito nire-recognize ng China. Pero itong award na ito ay considered as authoritative and legally binding pursuant to the provisions of UNCLOS itself. Kasi nakasabi doon na yung China, just by being a party to UNCLOS, ay nagbigay na siya ng consent niya sa arbitration proceeding. Kasi yung arbitration, yun po yung default na dispute settlement mechanism under UNCLOS. So kahit hindi nag-appear yung China doon sa arbitration proceeding, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yun kasi nagbigay na siya ng consent niya nung naging party siya sa UNCLOS. At nung lumabas yung award nung 2016, binding po yun ang China. Kaya lang, China chose not to recognize the award, and this is a violation of international law. Kaya po marami po tayong mga tawag natin, partners ngayon kasi the international community supports us. Kasi itong award, if you don't recognize the award, it is contrary to how things are done in the international sphere. Kasi kung may international ruling, dapat sinusunod mo yung international ruling. Si China, hindi niya sinusunod, kaya yung mga ginagawa niya, labag po ito lahat sa naging international ruling ng Arbitral Tribunal. Nakasulat kasi doon, for example, sa Scarborough Shoal, na yung mga fishermen natin, meron silang right to fish in the territorial sea of Scarborough Shoal. So kung binubuli po ng China yung mga fishermen natin sa Scarborough Shoal, yung tawag natin sa Scarborough Shoal, Bajo de Masinloc sa official maps natin, violation po ito, clear violation ng international law and of the arbitral award itself. So kung binubuli, ano ba yung binubuli? Yung water cannon ba nila? Yung inaharang nila yung entrance ng lagoon ng shoal? Violation po yun ng UNCLOS at ng arbitral award. So klaro po yun, no? na nasa mali po yung China in that respect at meron po tayong support ng several states already na may right po tayo sa area na yan at sa West Philippine Sea.
Thank you po. We are almost out of time, so we will consider 2 more questions from our media. Meron pa po ba? Wala na? Meron pong pumasok dito na question, 2 po. Babasahin ko na lang. The first question is, did the Philippines ever retaliated aggressively against China? And the second question is there a big possibility that the situation with all the things that we discussed now will be aggravated? If so, are we ready?
Nai-inspire ako dito sa sa press ko natin dito sa Parang pang ilang ulit ko na rin itong Pero ang tanong, una, nag-respond ba tayo ng aggression? So far, since we started this transparency, makikita nyo naman, wina-water cannon tayo, pero hindi tayo nang water cannon. Kahit may water cannon ng Philippine Coast Guard vessels. Kahit binabangga-bangga tayo ang umiiwas. Kahit binubuli-buli lang nila tayo, ang ginagawa ng Philippine Coast Guard vessel, we still act professionally in maintaining safety sa dagat. So in short, we do not respond to aggression and bullying from the Chinese Coast Guard. Kumbaga, we just take whatever they're doing. No. Second, kung tataas daw ba ang aggression, ang level ng tension, handa ba tayo? Ito na naman yung tanong kanina pa, na itinanong na rin ulit, na sasagutin ko na naman ngayon. Bakit ba tayo takot na takot sa tension? Na iniisip natin, kapag ba nagsusubong tayo at nag-tweet-tweet ako na nangyayari sa West Philippine Sea, tataas ang tension? Hindi po tayo ang nagpapataas ng tension dito. Sila ang nagpapataas ng tension at hindi rin po tayo nagre-responde sa aggression nila. As a matter of fact, tayo po we are dealing with them professionally and calmly. Hindi tayo ang nangaaway dito. Ngayon, ano ba ang gusto nating mangyari kung laging iisipin natin na, hindi, tataas ang tension, handa ba tayo? Bakit yan ang iisipin natin? Natataas ang tensyon. So ang gagawin na lang natin ulit, kahit binangga ang Coast Guard ngayon, tatahimik na lang tayo. Kapag nagutom na ang mga sundalo natin sa BRP Sierra Madre, dahil hindi tayo makapag-deliver ng supplies, okay lang din. May nagtanong sa akin one time, hindi daw ba ako nagsasawa, basher to sa Twitter. Natingin ko naman pro-China. Ang tanong niya, hindi daw ba ako nagsasawa na nagrereklamo lagi sa pangyayari na to sa West Philippine Sea? Honestly, sir, hindi po ako nagsasawa. Hindi rin ko po titigilan to hanggang ako po ang designated na spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea ng Coast Guard. Alam niyo po kung bakit? Kasi parang nung panahon ba ng Hapon, I'm sorry, no? Bad example. Panahon nung wala pa tayong kalayaan sa mga nag-occupy ng bansa. Kapag ang kapitbahay mo ba naghahasa, nabalitaan mo, next week, sa kabilang baryo, may naghahasa ulit, may na-rape, may naharas, may napatay, may sinaktan. Masasanay tayo? Masasanay ba tayo? Kapag may mangingisda na hinaras, ngayon, we're going to tell it to the public. Kapag may mga mangingisda na nawala ng bangka dahil binangga ng China Coast Guard, kasasanayan ba natin yan? Pagsasawaan ba natin yung pakinggan? Dahil tataas ang tensyon? Kapag may mga Pilipinong nagugutom na dahil nakaasa lang sa pangisdaan sa West Philippine Sea, hahayaan na lang natin. Kasi malaki ang bansang China eh. Tataas ang tensyon. Ito yung reality sa West Philippine Sea na hindi natin masyadong naiisip ng ganong kalalim. Laging naniniwala lang tayo, tumahimik na lang tayo kasi magkakagera eh. Di ba? Kaya minsan nalulungkot ako kapag ganyan yung naririnig eh. Or even reading the comments, no? Whether they are paid to become Chinese trolls or what, no? Kasi hindi ko alam kung ang ikinamatay ba ni Jose Rizal talagang nalimot na ng mga Pilipino. Na ang ikinamatay ng mga bayaning Pilipino is nililimot na lang natin dahil natatakot tayo, nagigirahin tayo ng China. Ang independence natin, kalayaan natin na ini-enjoy ngayon, sana pangalagaan natin at ipaglaban natin. Dahil kami sa National Task Force West Philippine Sea, whether the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the Philippine Coast Guard, Department of Justice, PIA, we are all doing our patriotic duty. We are all holding the line para sa kabataang Pilipino. Kung ngayon, susukuan na natin to, pagsasawaan na natin to, isipin na lang natin, kung you think like you're just an ordinary Juan de la Cruz, na this doesn't affect you, isipin nyo na lang, ang mga susunod na kabataang Pilipino, wala ng West Philippine Sea dahil we choose to be silent.
Thank you po. Okay, may pahabol. Okay, sige, we will entertain one last question from Ms. Julie Alipala of the Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Hi. Good morning ulit. Kay Attorney Freddy Ganchon, kasi niraise ko kasi yung issue ng like a typical ownership of this kind of battle, not typical the battle na shooting war, no? Yung about the West Philippine Sea. And syempre the community would also like to take part, like the LGU, the local government. Ano bang possible na actions from the perspective of the Department of Justice that the local government can do syempre to stand against the West Philippine Sea? Like for example, pwede ba yung gawa ng resolution, something to that effect? Or at saan to pwedeng pumunta? Can you at least guide us to the process kung saan ba to pwedeng ipadala? Sa DOJ ba? Sa DFA ba? Something like that. Yun lang po.
Thank you for the question. No? Nandito kasi tayo, no? Umiikot kasi kami as a member of the National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea. Sumasama nga yung Department of Justice, PCG, tsaka sa NSC, at tsaka in partnership with PIA to conduct this information campaign. Kaya nga po, pumunta kami sa isang LGU, a good question po yung ano yung pwedeng magawa ng LGU? I mean, itong Zamboanga del Norte, I know that nasa Sulusi kasi kayo eh. Hindi naman kayo dun talaga sa West Philippine Sea. Pero yung sa binigay nyo na example, yung resolution, all sangguniang bayan, municipal governments can actually issue a resolution in support of the Philippine position in the West Philippine Sea. Hindi po kailangan na i-submit sa national government. Kung yung resolution na gawin ninyo, ano lang yun po, vocal, express support sa ating situation in the West Philippine Sea. And in addition to issuing mga resolutions, ano pa yung pwedeng magawa ng mga local government units, baka pwede po sila mag-partner with Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources sa pag-help po ng ating mga fishermen. Ewan ko kung umaabot kayo sa West Philippine Sea, hindi naman po yata, pero maging vigilant po tayo kasi kung minsan may mga pumapasok po sa Sulusi, di po ba, galing sa West Philippine Sea, pumapasok po sila dyan eh. So maging vigilant lang po tayo. Second, so first, you can issue a resolution. Second, vigilance with respect to our adjacent seas. And third, laliman po natin yung ating understanding, no, on law of the sea. No? Kaya po meron po tayong mga briefings na ganito kasi madali po tayo madala sa mga information, misinformation tsaka disinformation pag hindi po tayo nagkaroon ng magandang pundasyon sa law of the sea. Kaya po yung mga mag-attend later on ng kasama ba sila ng briefing on UNCLOS and the arbitral award, sana po i-retain ninyo yung na-learn ninyo at i-share ninyo sa ibang tao para po makaroon po tayo ng magandang pundasyon at marami pong taong makakaintindi ng ating rights sa West Philippine Sea. So, yun po ang sagot. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Fretty G. Gatchoon of the Department of Justice. That wraps up our Q&A for this morning. Let us hear now the closing statement from Director General Jose Torres of Philippine Information Agency.
Actually, wala naman talaga akong closing statement. Gusto ko palang talagang anyayahan ang lahat. Especially mga kaibigan natin sa media. Binanggit ko kanina, pagkakataon na po natin na tanungin, and I hope na dito sa press conference na to, hindi ito yung ending pagkatapos pa natin mabalita mamaya or bukas, tapos naman, tapos malimutan natin. Tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, nagsimula tayo, tuloy-tuloy sana natin ipagtanggol yung ating kalayaan, tuloy-tuloy natin ipagtanggol yung ating mga territorial sovereign rights, kung saan mang lugar yan, West Philippine Sea or kahit anong lugar dito sa ating bansa. Kaya ginagawa natin ito ay simula lamang dito sa Mindanao. We will go to other areas. We will also come back here sa Mindanao in other areas. Pero sana po magiging textmate or phone pal nyo na si Commodore Tariela kasi marami sa mga umiikot kami ng mga lugar kasi kayo po yung magiging bahagi talaga doon sa pag-reach out natin doon sa ating mga kababayan. Sa pag-iikot namin, ang lagi sinasabi tulad kanina, binanggit na ngayon nyo lang maitanong or yung resource person, ibo-volunteer ko na po, pwede nyo pong maging textmate, pwede nyong imbitahan sa inyong mga programa sa radyo, television, or kung ano paman si Commodore Tariela. Gigising yan kahit hating gabi, pero huwag naman yung midnight show, pwede namang early morning show or evening show or tanghali, pwede nyo siyang imbitahan. Para mas malaman ng ating mga kababayan dito sa Mindanao kung ano yung tunay na kalagayan, hindi tayo magpadala doon sa misinformation, disinformation. Kasi yun po yung ating kinukombat talaga. At nakikipagyera talaga tayo sa misinformation and disinformation. Si Commodore Tariela na lang yung magbigay ng number niya. Later po, you can approach him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DG Joe Torres. Before we let go of our media partners and friends, we will have first our photo opportunity together with our panelists. Kung okay lang po, for our documentation. So we would, dito na lang po sa baba. We would like to request our media friends By the way, lunch will be served at Dampa for our media partners.